The Spin-off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
When the Lessons End is a major new investigative feature on the Spin-off, covering the relationship between a high school clarinetist and her 50-something music teacher. Reported over more than a year by senior writer Alex Casey, it details how private music lessons became events which would scar a young woman's life, and how police and music tutoring bodies compounded her experiences by proving unwilling to intervene. Read it now on thespinoff.co.nz.
The Real Pod is brought to you by our good friends at Nando's. They've got restaurants across Aotearoa, and if you order through the Nando's app, you can collect Perry Perks points to redeem for delicious rewards. Hit nandos.co.nz to learn more and start earning.
I wish we all find love. Is what I've got to say to you too.
Thanks, Dion.
I've rewound that so many times, and it just brought me so much joy.
Did you practice that the same way that I did? Remember when Cyrell did Yank King Ding-a-ling? and I sent you guys voice notes of me doing an impersonation of that.
Well, we watched it with my sister-in-law Ashley and her boyfriend Alex, and I don't know how many times I said it that night, but it was too many. I wish we all find love. It's just such a good phrase.
Such a good phrase. And where is the lie? You know?
There is no lie. It's the truth. It's the stone cold truth. And it is what underpins Married at First Sight Australia, which we have reached the end of. Kia ora, welcome along to The Real Pod. This is your reality TV podcast, and we are we're finishing recapping Married at First Sight Australia before we board the Dancing with the Stars train and also the Below Deck Down Under boat.
Really busy.
Super yacht.
That was really close. I was worried you were going to say anything but boat there.
My name's Jane Yee, joined by Alex Casey and Duncan Grieve and T.I. Butler.
What's up?
We are in our brand new studio.
I'm clapping.
Yeah.
I'm clapping.
Here we are.
It's a vibe. What do you think?
I think it's a vibe.
It's
got a window.
It's got two
It's got two
windows.
windows. It's got a peephole.
It's got a
in
viewing
lot of
deck.
ways.
People, Jesus Christ.
Is that fun?
It's a massive peephole. We can see out into the spin-off common area. There's people having meetings out there, which is quite nice. And then we can also see out to the actual wide world. So we're no longer in a windowless box. It's quite remarkable. And it'll still just sound the same to you, though. Stupid, basically.
We're not
stupid.
changing.
We're not changing.
Nah.
Don't worry, guys.
You can find us on Facebook, or at least you can find people who listen to the podcast and talk about literally everything in the whole wide world in a lovely way on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/Real Pod Corner. We're also on Instagram at the Spin-off Podcast Network.
Can we issue a warning for this pod? You've flagged it as a potential piss poor pod.
I would like to flag piss poor pod alert. Piss poor pod alert. Can we get some kind of sting?
I'll see what I can do.
Piss poor pod alert. Piss poor pod alert. Thank you. I have not slept very well. I had to take a whole Zopper clone last night, which has turned me into today a zombie clone. And that is Ashley Bogle's joke, actually. But shout out. I'll do my best.
I didn't sleep well last night either, but I did the sensible thing and had a rude coffee.
Wow.
I'm like a zombie from, what's that one with Begbie in it, where the zombies run really fast?
28 days?
28
Yeah.
weeks later
28 weeks.
even.
Is that the one where he sees penis?
So much penis on telly these days.
God,
Yeah.
So much.
talk to me about euphoria.
It's a lot of penis.
Yeah.
The goalposts have shifted. Anyway,
Piss
Got
poor
some-
penis pod.
it's slightly sidetracked there. If you're still with us, thank you very much. You are one of the unlucky ones. We're just going to get into it. We're going to talk MAFS, the final week of MAFS. How are you guys feeling about it?
I was super emotional. It's been a wonderful season. It's got us through Omicron and not having an office. I just think it's sort of acquired, like I was thinking about, like it almost feels like it's become like this weird quasi-national sport of Australia. Like they put up their best people and they all give it a red hot go, and we learn something new together every year. And normally there were lulls in it, but this one just closed out so strongly. Like I thought those last couple of episodes were just hit after hit after hit.
Wow, I'm perpetually disappointed by the final episodes. I always feel like justice has not been done. I always feel like the experts don't finish what they've started. They don't like take people to task enough. I think that we've seen a bit more of that this season than we have traditionally.
Sheriff John.
Yeah, John's really taken on a role, hey, but
He's crack up.
but there were some surprises for sure, and some disappointing surprises and some really nice surprises.
I hate to be shallow, but I also like to see how the contestants just like spruce themselves up a little bit between the end of the experiment and when they come back for the couch session.
Who's the big winner in the spruce?
Well, I think Liv had a spruce.
Oh, okay.
I think she had a spruce. I'm doing something with my I'm doing something with my face here. It's a big secret.
All right.
I mean, Cody shaving off the mo.
I don't think that was a bad move.
Do you think
Terrible
that was good?
move.
Okay,
No,
good.
terrible move.
Yeah,
He looks a lot
great.
older.
And Tamara
And younger at the same time.
Tamara got eyebrows done.
Okay, for me, Mitchell with the beard.
Oh, Mitchell's
Oh,
beard.
don't do that,
Mitchell's
Mitchell.
beard. No, it looks so good.
What?
He looks 10 times
This
better.
is fucked. Like I might have to leave this pod.
Nah.
Because it was one of those ones with the Craig David style, like really sharp lines. As well.
Bellissimo.
No,
Absolutely not. Are you endorsing this, Jane?
I'm not just endorsing it. I'm gonna lead the revolution on it.
He looks wonderful.
He looks so hot. Like
I hear. Can you join me in this?
Nah, Mitch is a piece of shit.
we're just talking about aesthetics here.
What about the beard, though?
Nah, everything's tainted for him.
Wow.
Really?
No time for him.
Oh my god.
You don't rate.
Yeah, right.
You don't do anything with it.
I need to talk to you about this because I'm confused.
He don't
But
rate ya.
we'll get there. We'll get there. My
Mitch, he don't rate.
Mitch, he don't rate you.
My very first note for the whole thing is no more shoeys for Al. He's all grown up, which is simply not true.
As he was polishing a shoe. Oh, Al.
He also did like a massive burp at one point.
Also, didn't he have a massive skull from a carafe that he seemed to not know was not a glass?
Like, if I'm not drinking from a shoe, what am I drinking from?
He's never known what a cup is.
What couple do you want to start with?
Matt and Kate, obviously.
Okay, what's to say? I've got literally no notes on
No,
them.
I've got a very short note, but basically he used an entire can of deodorant on one armpit.
He did. And then did a cologne on top.
He'd be smelling good.
And he said something about being James Bond. He's just chatting. He's just happy to be out of the house, you know?
And just to be chatting to anyone, like to have a live mic and a camera on him. Vivian watched like a portion of the shows, my 8-year-old daughter, with us, and she had such a good call for Matt, which was like, he's a grown-up, but he's got the cheekiness of a child.
Wow. That is amazing. Get her on the
incredible.
pod. On those days where you can't pod, let's wheel
Honestly,
in
put her in the
Vivian.
game coach, but I just never. It'd be one of those things where like the third string quarterback comes in, and then your main dude who's aging out, just never
you'd be
gets
gone.
the spot back.
Gals pod. I also just want to mention on Kate that she has progressively had a glow up throughout this season. She's just
Lady in red.
she's lady in red. She turned up at the dinner looking fab as well.
They did say something about them being They're friends at first sight. But I even think that's kind of
That's really
ambitious.
That's being nice about it. Yeah.
And I really like him. Just little spark. Absolutely not. You don't want to give him an inch. You don't want to give him a flicker at the end of the tunnel.
We'll talk briefly on Al and Sam. There's not much to report. They're still not together, obviously. He has shaved a heart into the back of his head for some reason. And I noticed that at the dinner he wasn't seated. Like everyone was, even people who were not together were still seated together, but he wasn't seated with Sam.
Oh.
I think the producer was just like, the train's left the station on that one. We're not, there's no point seeing them together because there's nothing coming out of this. So
Sam had done a sort of bit of a personality transplant. She seemed real lovely, and now she seems real mean.
she really got into the mean girl spirit at that dinner party in a big way.
It's very disappointing.
Extremely
See her,
disappointing.
The blonde. Who's Tamara,
Tamara.
Liv and Sam. Yeah, I thought she was different.
And
She
it's
was different to them.
Yeah, well, especially because she managed to hold it in, if that is indeed her real personality, the whole long ass show, and then right at the end, sort of basically ruined her reputation, which just seems like a weird thing to do.
She was very anti-Brent, very anti-Dom. And she even tried to get, when Jack arrived sans Dom, she tried to kind of goad him into saying nasty things about Dom.
Yeah.
And he obviously, he's Jack, he's the Saint Jack, and he wouldn't. But, well, is he a saint? You're raising your eyebrows.
No,
What does
I'm
that
just
mean?
saying he is a saint.
Okay.
It was that kind of a raise.
Yeah, what a dumb strategic move from Sam. She
Don't
could
know
have gone
why.
out there, just maybe she's just like, I need to make some sort of a name for myself to keep relevant on social for at least the next couple of weeks. Otherwise, she probably wouldn't have got any airtime if she didn't do that bitching.
True.
So maybe not such a dumb strategic move.
She's got to get some more hot pink eyeshadow somehow.
Is Elle ready for love?
Yes. This, obviously, when we'll get to Selena and Cody in time, but I just got to thinking, you match Selena with any
Yep.
other guy,
Yep.
and it's absolute bliss
Yeah.
till infinity. And I was like, Selena and Al would be a lovely couple.
Amazing.
Imagine the excitement when literally anything happens. Like,
It would be crazy. It would be too much.
oh my God, it's morning time!
I feel like a picture-in-picture of Al watching anything would be amazing. Just Al's face, tight shot, just anything that's happening. I could, I think you'd pay like $2 a month extra for.
You're looking at that subscription model, aren't you?
I am. I'm trying to get recurring revenue out of Al.
Get him on Gogglebox.
Yeah.
Get him watching MAFS next year.
Anything. Just
Literally
he wants
anything.
that long train ride in Norway show, and he'd be like
Yeah.
freaking out.
Imagine Al watching the news. That would be too
don't.
much.
No. I reckon his mum's got Kitty Lock on his Netflix. Kids programming only. He's like sitting down for an episode of Bluey. Okay. Who should we talk about next? I feel like there's quite a lot to say about a lot of these people now.
Mitch and Ella?
Mitch and Ella. Okay, so obviously
Wow.
Mitch is beautiful now.
This
Yeah.
is fucked. Are you guys trolling me?
No, okay, listen.
Much better looking.
After you've come out batting for Cody week after week, I trust nothing you say.
I'm not batting for his looks.
You're betting for his great personality.
To be fair, I do think I might have been slightly wrong about Cody. I think I need to apologise. Oh, man.
But no, I'm team Mitchell's facial hair.
A bit of stubble almost always looks better, does it not? Is this
I think
not
like
the rule?
I finally when we first
Beard is terrible.
That's
it's
my
there
note.
in writing.
It's my first note.
when we first met Mitch, I wasn't, when they were going on about how he's like such a hunk, I was like, and then he grew on me and I did think he was pretty attractive. And now I'm like, hunk, total hunk status.
I loved it when they did the reveal.
Oh,
I liked
so
the way
good.
that they staged it with Ella sort of moody on the balcony. But then the "We're back, baby" and hornier than ever.
Yeah.
So good.
We got back to our roots, his roots, rooted.
I was asking the question because he said, I went back and I had regrets and I missed her and, I was thinking I made a big mistake. And I was like, well, why don't you reach out? Don't have to just wait till you're on the telly to try and make amends. And then, of course, the reveal. And I was like, oh, you got me. You buggers. It was a really nice shot, that shot where he just walked into the background.
Yeah. They did
really
that right.
nicely done. Really nicely done.
I also liked all of the revelations about Mitch being absolutely shit-faced and just calling his entire phone book.
Oh, yeah.
I have questions about that. That's so weird. That's such a
it's a nice chat.
Yeah. So
Mr. Lonely.
should we talk about that, or do we wait till we get to Tamara and Brent for that?
Let's wait.
Okay. Let's move on to Jack and Dom. Another big reveal, a sad reveal,
But also
A confusing
Very
sort of
confusing.
reveal,
Really
to be
confusing.
honest.
because they spoke a lot about how things hadn't been good, and that like their final vows, while a nice time, they didn't leave like great, and that was not what the sense that I got when I watched the telly show. I got the sense that they'd had some rough patches, but the very fact of them riding through those rough patches together had brought them closer, and that's kind of what the experts echoed as well. And then, lovely final vows, and they were supposed to hang out and eat heaps of vegetarian lasagna and stuff, and it's just not happened.
But in the words of the great Justin Bieber, never say never.
Never say never.
Oh my God, it was so cool the way that she it's seemingly earnestly
Yeah.
frozen. I also feel like she gifted us one of the most underrated lines of the tournament with her, when I think she was, I don't know who she was watching, because basically I lost everything in my mind at the time when she said, I feel like I'm going to have diarrhea.
When did you say that?
It was so amazing. She was, I think she was like watching, I don't know, maybe it was to do with, I think it was when Carolina and Daniel's recap was happening, and he was squeezing her butt and talking about how horny he was, and her reaction wasn't immediate. I think I'm going to have diarrhea. Real specific.
It's real specific. I mean, we do say,
that
I think I'm going
to the whole new level.
It literally shittles me.
we say, I think I'm going to vomit.
Yeah.
I'm going to be sick. I think I'm going to have runny poo. Next level.
It was perfectly pronounced. It was just.
There were some real good facials from everyone when we were watching back. It was
amazing.
But I still feel like, there were things that were missed. There were things that should have been played that didn't get played, particularly in relation to Liv. But we'll get there. Still on Jack and Dom, one thing that really confused me. So it did really seem like they're still kind of like holding a candle for each other, and that I don't think they're going to get back together, because I think if that's going to happen, you do that on the telly, right? Like that would be great viewing. I think it's probably done. But what I find confusing, she was like, in the beginning, she was really into him, and then there was the bad stuff, and then it flipped. And that she implied that he was the one who was into it and she was distant. But then she was saying she was the one reaching out when they were apart. It was just confusing.
I have hope. I think they could still do it. Like when you saw them come back together at the dinner party, the laughing, the hugging.
How far apart do they live? You got to move quick. That's the thing. I think once you leave final vows, you got to.
But they're in the same city, right? Like,
are they?
Yeah, I think so, because the doggies, remember?
True.
She did actually post on Instagram. I did check last night. She posted on her stories family photo, and it was her and Jack and the dogs.
Well,
but
say no more.
Well, it could be just we love each other as family. We had an experience together. It could have been an old photo. Who knows?
Well, I did conjecture about married or siblings at the start. So
okay, where to next?
Holly.
Holly, solo.
How good was Holly arriving first? Yeah. And just wandering around just saying some real fucked up. That was just smart casting.
Even just the way, I think it was actually at the reunion cocktail thing that they did, or the girls' night, where she walked in and she did like a really jazzy walk in, and there's something about the way she moves that's extremely Holly.
Her walk is unbelievably funny.
And then she walks into the room and then she kind of like walks right over to the couches and is looking around in wonder, like, where is everybody? And
Burning
it's
fake
just
chassés.
so theatrical. It's quite something. She's an actor, so
She's dating somebody?
yep.
We found out.
We don't know who.
No sign of old mate. Old mate angry.
Yeah,
ears.
well, I
yeah.
want to know a lot more about, because it's quite full on to not return to the show. Like people have done terrible things and come back. See Daniel and Carolina. So interesting.
Do you know who must feel ripped off though? Jess, because she turned up. She's turned up to the dinner party. She's turned up to all the things, and the cameras basically watched her walk in, and that's it.
When she walked in, I was like, hey? And then I remembered.
We had Celine back as well. Celine and Anthony.
Celine did the reverse trajectory
I
of
know.
Sam, where suddenly
Yeah.
you're like, she becomes the every woman viewer and says crack up things and is almost like she's like someone from the audience who snuck onto the show, gives great chat and commentary, and suddenly Celine's cool.
Super clutch
Really
performance
complicated.
from her though, because she was absolutely shocking at the girls' night.
It does seem like she's just trying on a new character every time she's on camera and see what one kind of goes down better.
She finished on a good one.
Yeah, she did.
She did. She's found her niche. I actually think in the context of the kind of chat she did in the last episodes, her girls' night performance wasn't so bad because it was just like, tell me all the stuff. I want to know what all the stuff was because I missed all the stuff, which is basically what any viewer would be like if they'd been sort of parachuted into the scenario.
Yeah, but she did take some digs at Tamara, but now it's like, oh, well, maybe she was right to do so. Tamara has had a massive fall from, I mean, I don't know that she was ever in grace status, but she's, from wherever she was, she's toppled further. Just...
She yeah. I mean, it's kind of extraordinary how much of a heel turn she's done in a very short space of time.
But it was there all along.
I was always there, but it's
The shortness, the short jackets, the wait tables.
She's got a point with the jackets. I mean, I think I may have spoken
I
to
like
this.
the jackets.
I'm not saying that jackets are bad, but as a short person
Look at
myself,
me for affirmation.
Looking at you.
as a short person with a long torso, so I'm short, and then my legs are even shorter than they should be, even for my height. If I wear anything long, say a long double-breasted blazer, it just makes you look like you've got matchsticks for legs, like teeny tiny, short little leggies.
Cool.
I mean, if short legs are cool, tell me about it. I want to know.
They're back.
They're back, baby. That is great news. Thanks, guys. So she started off the dinner party by obviously bitching about Brent. And then, as we mentioned, Sam and Liv really just got on board with that and they went to town.
She was so horrible. Like, yuck. I hate the smell of him. Mean.
Really mean.
I'm sure he
Yeah.
smells lovely.
We know who does smell lovely. Matt.
Matt, really.
Really,
Probably
really
just
nice.
smelling Matt across the room.
She also bitched about Ella and Mitch. Like,
She was just flailing.
she was flailing. At the dinner party, Brent drops the Mitch Tamara bomb, which is that Tamara had been sliding into Mitch's DMs. We never really found out exactly what was said. I would have loved to have seen that. We've seen DMs before. I would have loved to have seen them.
Yeah.
It seemed like she was inviting him to come along with her and a mutual friend to something, but it was not as innocent as she would have liked.
And it also seemed that she thought that Mitch probably wouldn't have said anything to Ella because it would potentially make him look bad. But Mitch had told Ella everything. Ella knew that Tamara had been sliding in. And there was this mysterious 2 a.m. phone call that apparently was like there were phone calls made to literally everyone on the cast.
Yeah, he was ringing
In fact,
around.
I was
I
like-
rang Dion, I rang everyone.
I was disappointed. I didn't get a call.
Yeah.
But
Should give him NASA number. I reckon NASA.
he probably rang NASA. NASA probably rang him. Let's be real. But yeah, so she really just missed the mark in terms of her defence. And
Did you guys appreciate how elaborate the setup for the reveal was? How Brent established this whole let's go around the table game.
Oh,
talk about,
yes, friends.
What was positive and what was negative.
yes, true,
And then he goes,
yeah.
why don't we start with Tamara?
So good.
So good. I mean, it was, she was profoundly, consistently awful. Like the when I start my OnlyFans account, I'll ask her for tips and lecturing Elle on rudeness. Like, Elle, sweet Elle. Come on, you like it.
And then he burped in her face.
Which was iconic.
Yeah.
Tiahi, you're not an Elle fan. Are you?
No,
I wanna know why.
I'm warmer towards him than I was originally, but initially I thought he was just a doofus and needed to grow up.
I mean, he is.
I didn't find any of his boyish charm charming. I think I've been, in my past, have been a dumbass, like late teenage, early 20s.
It was confronting for you, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
It was a
You
little
don't want to
bit.
go
Same
back
for me
there.
in my
A
early
little
30s.
And I thought he was getting too much slack cut to him for being immature.
Yeah, but now that we've seen the Sam, that maybe some bits of Sam that he might have seen, perhaps we can cut him some slack.
No, he's the man. I'd hang out with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you done a
totally.
shoey?
I've never done a shoey.
Alex has.
Have you done it? You've
Yeah.
done it? Yeah.
You've done a sandally.
I've done it, yeah. A slidey.
I think with this new information about old mate over there producing in the corner, lock up your Adidas tracksuits.
How much would you pay for Elle to come to your party?
Oh, good money.
I reckon that's
Most,
a
like,
big
that's-
business for him.
Yeah.
Can you
That'd
do?
be most of the budget, I reckon. Can
you do the
else
worm?
there?
Sorry, I'm just asking Tiahi if we can do the worm.
I could do the worm when I was 17.
Can you do it now?
No. I
Could you
don't
do it
think
right now?
No, I'd probably put my back out.
I thought we might have an L in our midst. If we can just bring out Tiahi's L.
I feel like I would just I would just dive into the floor and just sort of have a really, really hard impact, and that'll be the whole thing. One more Tamara quote. I don't want a person who works in retail. Is that okay? Like, just inventing and then casting aspersions on like a whole different genre
thing.
of work. Just awful.
Is this when she was crying in the toilets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is she like?
She's a snake. As Ella said, very
Yeah.
succinctly.
She walked out when she couldn't handle the heat in the kitchen. So she walked out at the couch session, came back in. Came cruel, it came slithering back in.
You can't leave and return. You just have to pick it.
Yeah.
Okay, who else? Carolina and Danny? And Dion?
Oh, God. Dan's teeth. The thing Dion said about Dan's teeth is so good. Your teeth about as... What did he say?
The fakest.
Fakest thing ever.
But somehow it
Didn't quite
landed.
nail it. And then they were $2 from Bali.
The very theatrical negative positive thing during the dinner party where he was like, I'm not going to focus on the negative, and looks over at Carolina and Danny, and everyone laughs. And then he was like, oh my God, I've got a crowd. And he just hammered that
loves it,
again
yeah.
and again and again. It was so
That's a real
good.
kids move, eh? Is you get one joke and just keep going for
It's
it.
kind of a real pod move as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, just heaps of callbacks.
Need I mention Flappy Shoe? Couldn't shoey from that shoe, could you? It'd be an absolute disaster. Okay, they want Carolina and Danny arrive at the dinner party wanting an apology from Mitch after his behaviour at the boys' night.
Did not get it.
Didn't get the apology. They're living together now, happy families. And Carolina refused to sit on the couch with Dion at the couch session. She just stayed put.
They should have made them all go on as like a throuple. I mean,
Totally
Yeah.
should
it
have.
would have been real funny.
They played some footage. It was as gross as it was the first time
Oh,
round.
it's so hot. The bum lifting.
Yeah.
But I know.
It's very, does he really go?
Yeah.
It's like he's doing training or something. It just
the-
lifts the whole bum.
It's the I'm getting horny thing
Yeah.
that still gets me. It's like,
It's really funny.
like at that moment,
It's so
that just
embarrassing.
does that not ruin the moment? I'm getting horny. It's like, oh, hot.
Huge
Cool.
teeth.
Everyone grossed out. Domenica's
Doing
having to stop
diarrhea.
herself from creeping on the seat. And then Jack, ever the kind of like, I don't know, voice of reason, jumps in, calls out the time codes, figures out that was all happening while she was still with Dion. And then the worst bit, according to Dion, he's not, because they kind of like, she kind of bumbles out some sort of half-assed apology with a massive but after it, but no regrets. And Dion's like, I'm not sad. You didn't upset me. What I am bothered by is the fact that you gaslit me. Like, you came in and then kind of called me out for all this stuff, and I was the reason the relationship wasn't working, while I'm getting horny over there with him, you know? And which was quite nice, because I was sitting there thinking, there's no way he's really hurt. Like, he might be humiliated, but he's not still hurting over this.
But not even humiliated. Like, he just comes out looking like a hero, and they just look so small. And the way Daniel kind of, it's like he psychs himself up, or maybe the producer does, and he goes in thinking he's going to get all this kind of absolution and comeuppance, and then he ends up just sort of yelling, "Yous are all single, shut up." And it just doesn't work.
Well, all the contestants are like actually turning their backs to them.
And just cracking up at them. Like, yous are so funny. And you see Daniel's face like, this isn't, Mum, this isn't how that was meant to go like this.
Also, they watch all that incriminating footage and they're like, what do you think when you watch that back? And she's like, well, it's hard because, you know, it's you know.
It's the greatest love story.
It's just a video of a lovely love story.
Yeah.
Getting horny.
Oh my God, I'm going to fall off the chair.
Oh, God.
Can we make a sting of that to play?
Justin, any did it.
So, Carolina's apology to Dion actually read, I'm sorry, but I don't regret it. I'm happy and I deserve it. So, just no self-awareness, nothing. Goodbye. Dion gets the last word. He gets given the last word and does a little speechy speech, which is where he says,
I wish we all find love.
So, that was that. That's the end of the throuple.
Poor old Jess doesn't even get to be in the throuple. She's like, what am I?
At the couch session?
I don't think so.
Every chance she might have been just...
I think she's off with Andrew, with Donald Trump, having a time.
Remember your wig theory?
Yeah, look, let's not bring that up because I admitted defeat on that, okay? Just extensions.
Oh.
Okay, Cody and Selena.
Oh, God's sake.
This was real gross. Okay, so Cody and Selena were still together at the dinner party. Everyone was very happy about this. It was fine, nice. I was happy enough for them. He seemed to have maybe, you know, turned some sort of a corner in that after breaking the teacup. But boy, was Selena's mum right about Cody and that teacup.
Well, there had been talk of Selena moving in a few months to live with him. It looked like it was all happening.
At his behest, right?
Yeah.
And then the next day?
So after the dinner party, she went to hold his hand. He flinched and was like, just don't wanna. And it obviously escalated from there and they broke up. He broke it off. She made it very clear that he was the one who broke it off.
The main thing is, when you do that and you're on the couch, smile constantly.
He has not stopped smiling since he arrived at the experiment. It's so funny.
It's so scary.
It's so funny that was what he called her out for when he first met her. It's like, she's always looking at me smiling. I'm like, dude, she's just reflecting back what you're putting out there.
And he even shaved off his moustache so you could see
know.
more of the
Full.
smile.
But it's got the saddest eyes and this giant smile, and it's the weirdest thing.
He is definitely the kind of guy who laughs in uncomfortable situations and don't ever take him to a funeral, you know? You know, there are people who kind of like they can't help but like laugh at a funeral. That's him. I don't think he's smiling because he's happy. I think it's like a weird kind of veneer.
He makes me sick to my stomach. He makes me do diarrhea.
It is horrible. I'm not going to say in his defence. But I do think he because he was sort of under a lot of pressure from the experts to make it work, and all you have to do is this and all you have to do is that. I think that he kind of did what he thought he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
I think for a long time he really knew she wasn't the one, but he just didn't want to hurt her.
And he also wanted to be like the nice guy or whatever.
Yeah. But I've still got in capital letters, Cody is still yuck.
Yeah.
He is hell, I wrote. And I highlighted it. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse. And then Cody was kind of like, you know, sometimes I think maybe I haven't even made the right decision.
Classic.
Grins again.
Classic cool thing you want to hear.
Can we do like a photo of us where we all try and do our best Cody face?
I can't do it.
It's very hard because your muscles don't go. Yeah.
I think, they pressured him to say, do you or don't you see a future? He was sort of trying to let her down gently kind of thing. Honestly, he should have just waited until after the couch session because, again, ruined yourself on the telly.
There was some great takes on Reddit where people were hypothesizing that Cody forgot that there was a final recap day with the experts, and that after the dinner he just broke up with Selena thinking that was the end, and then had to show up the next day.
Do you think
and
that's why he
take accountability for it.
shaved as well?
Could be,
Because
yeah.
I'd be interested in the psychology behind the shave. Do you think? I was like, is he
Of course,
trying to?
'cause he wasn't
is he
shaved
trying,
at the
he
dinner
wasn't
party.
shaved. Is he trying
No.
to distract people from the bad thing by being like, look,
Yes.
look at my chin?
No, do you know what I think it is? I agree with the Reddit user. I also want to comment on the fact, again, T.I. he'd never watched Married at
I
First
know.
Sight, and now he's on Reddit.
Straight in the Reddit, deep in the subreddits.
I reckon, he thought that the dinner party was the end of it. He's like, I don't want people to recognise me now that I'm off the show. I'll shave off my moustache. No one will be any the wiser. And then it's like, email comes in, call time tomorrow.
Yeah.
What? Trying to glue his moustache back on.
Oh, Cody.
Just smiling at the call sheet.
With tears streaming down his face.
He doesn't see a future with Selena. Selena is obviously much better off. I think, when you make your point, what I do worry about when I look at Selena and Cody and how that relationship played out, if I'm allowed to get serious for a moment, is that she really needs to find someone who's going to treat her right, because I feel like she would almost put up with anything.
Yeah.
Because she's just so desperate for things to work out. And I know that sounds like horrible, like I'm insulting her. I just think she's a really genuine person. And I think she likes to believe the best in people, and she just wants that love story. So, no, I don't necessarily think Al's the man for her. I think it'd be a fun time. I'd really like her to find
It'd
someone.
be a good rebound for her. Yeah. Bit of fun.
Yeah, bit of fun.
How good was Al, just more on Al, when he was in his guts and looking in the mirror and did that
that
crazy
crazy
roar,
Hulk
the
thing?
Hulk roar?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Has he gotten bigger?
I don't think so.
Or is that just
Like
what
beef
happens?
Yeah, he was just hulking
It
out.
looks scary.
He remember
Look
at the
hot.
very beginning, he was like the only thing that he is negative about him is he's got his legs aren't bulky enough, and how
so
the
good.
whole his whole beginning intro piece was him giving himself big upsing himself in the mirror. So
And
this
saying
is
how
just
much better looking he was than everyone else, including Mitch.
and then he saw Mitch and he was like, oh, a bit of competition.
But I'm still a 12 and he's a 10.
Yeah, he would have freaked out when Mitch walked in with that beard. I can tell you, absolutely
Agree,
freaked out.
disagree. He keeps himself clean shaven, or maybe doesn't grow a beard.
Except for the heart in the back.
Another Al thing, just before we leave Al, when Anthony walked in and Al went, Daddy!
I missed
That was cool, because I'm like, does Al genuinely think Anthony's his daddy? Possibly.
Yeah,
it's not.
true.
It's not
Maybe
a
he
question.
is. I don't know. Actually, on Anthony, when Anthony arrived and he went to give Selena a hug and she did a fist bump and the experts were like, oh, that's a nice friendly thing. I was like, that's embarrassing. He went to give her a hug and she was like, no, fist bump. Anyway.
See, Celine trying on a new character again.
I'm a fist bumping kind of a gal.
Without Nando's, there would be no real pod.
There'd also be no cheesy garlic pita.
Basically, Nando's changed all of our lives.
Now, we all know that times are tough for hospo, and sadly, Nando's have had to temporarily shut down some of their restaurants. So make sure you check the website to see which stores are still open before you visit.
However, if you prefer to eat at home, like I do, because I'm lazy, Nando's delivery has got you covered, and there's a nice little bonus on the side.
You can order a scrumptious meal directly from the Nando's app on your telephone or the website on your computer and earn Perry Perks points.
Once you're on the Nando's train, you are definitely not going to want to get off, and you can use your points towards future orders.
You don't get Perry Perks through other delivery services, so great hack.
If you're a fan of The Real Pod, show our besties at Nando's some love. Visit nandos.co.nz or download the app today.
At Zed, we're all about moving with the times. And now it's time to be part of the climate change solution and move on from fossil fuels. As a New Zealand company providing fuel to people all over the country, we also know we have a real opportunity to lead that change. We're committed to keeping Aotearoa moving by providing the right energy for everyone. We believe that innovation in fuel and how it's used can make a huge difference to our planet. Find out more at z.co.nz.
Who have we got left? Just
Liv and Jackson.
Just Liv and Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, we've got Liv and Jackson and Dom and Liv.
Yeah.
Let's start with Liv and Jackson because this is how it played out, basically, the lovely happy couple story before the tense enemy story. Liv and Jackson still together, no surprises there.
Babies.
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 Moved in together yesterday. Signed it yesterday because we knew we'd be coming on the couch today.
Babies. She has no interest in drama for the dinner party, by the way, guys.
Absolutely.
No interest.
got no
I'm
interest.
absolutely over it.
She doesn't want to do anything to start shit, but she will not be standing up to greet Dom.
No. And she'll also get all her mean girls on side as well beforehand. But no drama. He hasn't said I love you to her yet.
No.
That must be driving her fucking crazy.
Yeah.
She'll be hating that. I had a boyfriend who for a year, like I was like, I love you after about 4 minutes, which was maybe too hasty. And after a year, he still was not, I love you. And it was horrible until he went overseas. And as we were like having a little huggle at the gates, he was like, I love you. And then he like ran off. And I rang him, like looking at him through the viewing window when someone, the bit where they're walking through the terminal and you can see all the departees. And I was like, did I hear that correctly? And he was like, yep.
Oh,
Hooroo.
Hooroo.
Was that Chizzo?
It wasn't Chizzo. Chance would be a fine thing. But I can tell you from first-hand experience, when you're saying I love you to someone and they're like giving you a lovely nice nod or a little squeeze as if to say, oh, don't love you yet, it's yuck. But she, deserves that.
But
He's trying to get out. He's got to get out.
He's got to get out.
He's not trying to get out. I think she's wrapped off on him. He got pretty nasty.
I did not like suddenly when he suddenly had a lot to say about the photo thing out of nowhere. That it was on Google. It's not private. It's on Google.
They're missing the fucking point. She didn't say it was from her private collection. That wasn't the problem. The problem was them being yucky about it. And also, again, just that whole like, oh, God, I can't even bother going into it. No drama.
Yeah, it feels like there's almost nothing more to say on that bleak sitch.
Didn't Selena say something at the dinner party? Didn't she sort of?
She did. I can't remember.
She tried to explain why it was a problem, basically. Tried once more yelling into the void to explain why it was not okay to share the photo around and what the intent was behind it. And they're still just like...
They're just never going to understand.
Just never going to get it.
When they were watching all the footage back, even Celine, again, Angel Celine was going, sheesh, Jesus. She was giving her heaps on the couch.
See ya. Tomorrow.
It was a horror...
She said it was evil, and she should know.
Yeah.
She's got that necklace.
Well, that was, I think, after they saw the Dom and Liv footage. But in terms of the Jackson and Liv footage, it was mostly positive. There was a mention of snide comments, and all they did was show her saying, like something not that, like it just wasn't the comeuppance I was expecting. I was hoping that Jackson would see all her in the moments where
Burned
she
at
was
the
really
stake.
nasty.
Yeah.
And like they did show a white trash mention.
But a single one. They could have done a supercut of the from white
Could
trash.
have. And also the she's so below me and she's a lesser person and all that kind of stuff. I felt ripped off.
But I wonder if, that's why I'd like to be in the studio audience that doesn't exist for those things. Because I feel
it
like...
does. Jess is there.
Excellent. But, if they'd done the full... if they'd done a bigger, more brutal montage, they might not have shown the whole thing, to try and fit in an hour or whatever, but... there would have been nowhere to hide. That's why I think that thing needs to be longer. It's just too short. It's a weird thing to say about the world's longest TV show.
I would watch a whole hour special of Jackson being shown footage of Liv's in the moments and all her yucky bits.
Literally clip expert saying, what about that?
Yeah.
And then another clip. Well, what about that? That's a great TV show.
I would like...
What about that?
I would like to...
That's what it's called. Copyright spun on.
I would like to posit that Dom was given a generous edit and Liv was given a really horrible edit.
Agree.
I do think there was an opportunity because especially when they showed the whole Dom-Liv relationship footage, it was all bad stuff, Liv. There were definitely moments where Dom, fired off and said some nasty things and none of that was shown. And the bit where she went to her room and Liv was like, stop yelling at me. I didn't, and Dom was like, I'm not yelling. But she had actually gotten a bit more worked up. We didn't see that.
Yeah.
We just literally saw her go, hey, can you tell me where the photo came from? And then Liv's like, stop yelling at me.
The one thing that they handled really, really well was the glass smashing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the way, and all of the crazy escalation for it to be like, she had this like weapon was swiping at my face when it was just, no, she smashed a glass. And that was the whole thing.
And I think at the time, I really wanted, when that was all going on, I really wanted them to like review the footage and all that. But it felt like this was a nice way of doing it. Like everyone all in the same place at the same time on camera and seeing their responses and just that cut together beautifully.
What was the real funny language around? Like they were like, see, she didn't fashion a weapon.
Well, she'd sit there kind of
Whistling
whistling.
it down.
And brandishing it and
Yeah.
standing over her and brandishing it in her face. Clearly smashed out of frustration still. But the thing is, it was a bad thing to do and it would have been scary. But Dom apologised.
Yes.
Really
She
well.
owned it.
She did.
She said it was a terrible thing. I shouldn't have done it and I apologise. And that's the difference, is that all the horrible things that Liv has said and done, not a single apology. Is that it? Is that
Oh,
everything?
yeah, at the end.
I think we're at the end. Was there anyone else?
One thing I'll add is, and I just want to bring in another prevailing attitude from my accomplices in the subreddit, is the reason why, a big reason why we felt so sort of underwhelmed about the experts not taking them to task during the review of Liv and Dominica's feud, is that the entire edit of that last episode is the quote-unquote friendly edit for Liv. The production supposedly is taking really careful steps to protect Liv from public backlash in
Right.
the aftermath of she's already, there's a petition people are
Yeah.
signing to
Getting
stop
the
her from
heaps. Yeah.
from teaching.
Yeah.
She's like being absolutely slayed
Yeah.
in social media. And after some, I think, really nasty fallout from previous seasons where participants were just like hauled over the coals in really unhealthy and inappropriate ways, they actively took a hand in shaping the edit to dial back some of the villainy.
Yeah, I think
Right.
we've heard about that before. Like I think with the Real Housewives incident a few years ago, we were told that there was a lot more that didn't go in. And
Yeah.
that's partly, I think, because they want to make it again next year and they want people to apply to be on it. And, if it feels like the show is, actively complicit in escalating the thing rather than de-escalating it, then, then they're going to struggle to get to make it. And also, like, there's the whole thing of, like, there were advertiser boycotts in previous years, so all the uplifted ratings actually don't get you any revenue. So it's a delicate dance they have to do. But I think, that probably was part of it. It's good work from the subreddit and our official subreddit correspondent.
Yeah, thank you.
It does
have
make
fun
you
there.
think, though, if that's the friendly edit, what the hell is
Well, yeah.
I want to see
villain edit?
the dark edit.
Oh my gosh. Extended edition.
I'm trying to find dirt on the internet about who, because I've even seen something as recently as yesterday that Mitch and Ella have split since, and that like they've basically couple swapped with Tamara and Brent.
What?
Well, I don't think that can be
That
true,
can't possibly be
Love
true.
that.
but I want to know.
Because, I mean, for starters, his suit jacket, he's already worn it before. So,
Yeah, that's true.
like, come on.
Come on, you can't wear the same thing twice.
It's disgusting.
I had to take off what I was going to wear to work yesterday because I realised it was what I wore on Friday when I came into the office for the first time, and I was like, I'm pretty sure,
We'd bag you out.
that I was going to
Get
get
some arrows.
fired. So that's it.
Oh my god.
What a time.
Can't believe it. We ended with Dom saying once more, never say never.
Yeah.
I will fight for forever. She extended the lyrics even further.
Yeah.
And I still have hope for them.
Okay, well,
Gotta hold on to hope.
let's just keep our eyes on Instagram. So we are going to be, can I say it? Can I say what we're doing next week?
Yeah,
As a
what are we
tease?
doing next week?
Next week, we're going to revisit a story that we've reported on the Real Pod that many questions remain unanswered. It's a legendary story from the Real Pod.
Tale as old as time.
It involves Mike Puru and some bad chicken. And we'll see if we can get Mike to fill in some of the gaps for us. But at any rate, we want to just go over it with a fine-tooth comb many years later. And if you don't know what we're talking about, join us and you'll find out. Then after that, we're kicking into Dancing with the Stars recaps. We weren't going to recap Dancing with the Stars, but we got sucked in.
Yeah, we did. It's going to be so exciting and silly and fun. Live TV.
Lance Savali?
Lance Savali.
I mean,
oh my God,
honestly.
what's he going to do on live TV? It's going to be madness. That lady's ponytail might fall off again.
That lady.
That
Ponytail.
Camilla.
Hey,
Sacre bleu.
I saw it. I was in the audience for an American episode of Dancing with the Stars with Camilla. When I say with, she was in the audience as well. I wasn't sitting next to her or anything. Yeah. and the other lady, Rachel.
Rachel.
Yeah.
What about Jules? Jules Tucker.
I think it was there.
He would be.
I got very close to Tom Bergeron though.
Wow.
Yeah, he was like right next to me. I could have touched him.
Do you remember when we went for lunch with all them?
Yeah.
Oh, so cool. And with the Real Housewives of Melbourne that one time.
Oh yeah,
We used to do
actually,
Carry on.
I've got something else, COVID, but I've got something else to tell you.
You've got COVID.
No, I don't have COVID. I've got a couple of things to tell you actually before we round out the show. Longest goodbye. First of all, I entered for one of those Auckland family voucher things and got one.
Whoa.
And guess what one of the things you can do is with your $100 voucher?
The amazing.
Escape room.
Ah.
We can go back. We can
we have to be
relive
a
our
family?
past. It just has to be like 3 people. So we are a family. We're a family in a sort of a broad sense. Secondly,
I'll go on the pram.
in our new office, we have been gifted a fridge magnet.
Hashtag gifted.
Have you seen it,
No.
Duncan? It's on the fridge here, funnily enough. It came from Cornies, who also happen to work for our sister company, Daylight Creative. Lauren and Ezra found this in an op shop in Nelson, bought it, and now it's on our fridge. I love that, they see a corn, they must buy it.
It's one of the biggest magnets I've ever
It's a
seen.
huge piece of corn.
It's really big.
And
It's amazing that it does it stick well.
It sticks beautifully.
Yeah.
Like great
Good on
sticking.
them. They've got a great eye for design.
They're crafty
don't they?
corny, so to those
Yeah.
two.
But even more crazy, they walked the Milford track. That's not the crazy bit, though that is crazy in itself.
What's going on with this podcast?
They ran into more cornies.
Wow.
They ran into
the wild-
cornies.
in the literal
in
wild.
The literal wild.
Whoa.
If you don't know what corny is, basically that's what the Real Pod Corner members call themselves and we call them, and that's just what their name is. What are you doing with
I
your
just
face?
realised that I did this legendary. It was cut for duration, but Cornados has corn in its name.
I thought that's why you tried them.
No.
Oh my God.
Oh
Okay.
my
This is fucking real.
Okay, so what happened was we recorded a MAFS pod, I think it was last week. Duncan went on this massive tangent about these Cornado chippies that he'd tried.
I thought it was my masterpiece.
And then I had cut it for time. Didn't make the final edit. Duncan told his wife, I've been talking about the Cornados on the pod. She listened.
I really built it up. Like, I never talk about what's on the pod. She's like, I was like, you're going to like this one, love.
And then he sheepishly messaged and was like,
What happened?
why did my Cornados check get cut? So now's your chance, Dion. The floor's yours.
I wish. But no. It was a one-time thing. But I just didn't realise that corn in there. This is like fucking me up. Okay, goodbye. Lovely pod.
Oh, I had something else. Never mind, I'll just tell you in person. Bye. From the Spin-Off Podcast Network, you've been listening to The Real Pod, with very special thanks to Nando's. It was hosted by me, Jane Yee, along with Alex Casey and, most of the time, Duncan Grieve. Te Aihe Butler made it all sound good, and Rachel LaRue got us out to the world. Make sure you visit nandos.co.nz for some delicious kai.
Just quickly, if you enjoyed this podcast and value what we do at The Spin-Off, please consider joining the Spin-Off members. All our mahi is made possible by our members, and we wouldn't be here today without their support. Tautoko mai and head to thespinoff.co.nz/members to sign up.
Kia ora, this is Toby Manhire, here to urge you to tune in to Gone by Lunchtime, a podcast with me, Annabelle Lee Mather and Ben Thomas, tackling the world of New Zealand politics, from policy to polling, from scandal to psychodrama. Listen to Gone by Lunchtime, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network, wherever good pods are sold.
Do you find it hard staying optimistic with all the financial news in the media? I'm Bernard Hickey, and on my podcast, When the Facts Change, I'm here to help you navigate the ever-changing landscape of economics in Aotearoa. So join the conversation every Friday on When the Facts Change, Brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network in partnership with KiwiBet.
The Spin-Off Podcast Network.